We let ourselves break just this once from our values. We cheat just this once. We lie just this once. We put off the hard task just this once. We skip the workout just this week. And soon we find that each of these little breaks leads to another, and then to a lifetime of compromise and regret.
Welcome to Philosopher Insights, the podcast that delivers wisdom in minutes a day that you can put into practice daily and strive to master over a lifetime.
The podcast committed to sharing ideas that encourage you to bridge the gap between who you are today and the person you aspire to be in the future.
Hi, my name is Herb Lamba, and welcome to my podcast, where I will share practical insights from the world's best authors.
Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. The quest to become the best version of you starts right now.
Hi, and welcome to Philosopher Insights. My name is Herb Lamba. Today we're going to take a look at the Motivation Manifesto. 9 declarations to claim your personal power. The author is Brendon Burchard. The book is published in 2014. I wanted to share a number of my favorite insights from this wonderful book, starting with 9 declarations: personal freedom, cynics and trolls, motivation, advance with abandon, integrity, inspire greatness, and finish it off with time is finite. So let's start with the introduction. Quote, "There comes a time in the lives of those destined for greatness when we must stand before the mirror of meaning and ask, why, having been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion, do we live as mice? We must look squarely into our own tired eyes and examine why we waste so much time sniffing at every distraction, why we cower at the thought of revealing our true selves to the world, why we scurry so quickly from conflict, and why we consent to play small. We must ask why we participate so humbly in society's frantic race, allowing ourselves into its mazes of mediocrity and settling for scraps of reward when nature has offered unlimited freedom, power, and abundance to the bold, the determined, the creative, the independent, to each of us. We must ask if our desires to feel safe and accepted are in fact enslaving us to popular opinion and to boredom. We must ask, when will we be ready to ascend to another level of existence?" End quote. That's the opening paragraph of the book, and begins the reflection on the declaration of personal power. I have been a huge fan of Brendon Burchard, the author of High Performance Habits, and this book is one of Brendon's earlier publications. But it is so packed with life-changing wisdom, I had to share it on this podcast today. It is an easy read that I completed in a matter of hours, and I am honored to pull out some of my favorite insights from this book, so let's begin. Insight number 1, the 9 declarations. We will dive deeper into specific insights based on the 9 declarations in the book, but let's quickly highlight them to get started. First declaration: we shall meet life with full presence and power. Quote, "We are too often lost in the abyss of unawareness. We regularly miss the energy and blessings around us and the importance of this very moment." End quote. Declaration number 2. We shall reclaim our own agenda. Quote, "The white space of a free day seems unfathomable because we have become hypnotized by a false but compelling need to respond to all the needs of others." End quote. Declaration number 3. We shall defeat our demons. Quote, "Our internal demons poison us with worry and fear whenever we might be vulnerable, stunting our growth and vitality." End quote. Declaration number 4. We shall advance with abandon. Quote, "We must not lose the urgency of this moment, as it begs for us to begin something grand and important." End quote. Declaration number 5. We shall practice joy and gratitude. Quote, "Where is the appreciation for life's spark? We must re-examine our attitude toward life." End quote. Declaration 6. We shall not break our integrity. For convenience of the wild smile of popularity, we waffle on a word and give up what we truly believe in. Declaration number 7. We shall amplify love. Quote, "To stand emotionally open before the world and give our hearts without fear of hurt or demand of reciprocity. That is the ultimate act of human courage." End quote. Declaration number 8. We shall inspire greatness. Quote, "Our talents and collective focus are not fully invested in personal mastery and social contribution, but squandered on voyeurism and base sensationalism." End quote. And the final declaration, number 9, we shall slow time. Quote, "Most barrel through life, unaware of their senses and surroundings, deaf and blind to the magical qualities of this very moment." End quote. Each of these 9 powerful declarations makes up a chapter in the book. Brendon Burchard challenges us throughout this book to go beyond what is realistic in life and strive to showcase your full power. Go beyond the pressures of conformity and vulnerably express the best version of you. Go beyond hoping that your life will get better and summon up the courage to change it yourself. Let's remember that life has really two themes, struggle and progress. Don't wish away the former, as without the struggles, there is no progress. Insight number 2, seeking personal freedom. Quote, "We are lions and lionesses living as mice. Rather than exploring free on the savannah, we are living small and distracted lives. It is the calling of each man and woman who draws breath to have a grand vision for our lives, and to each day claim the vastness of that vision. Rather than stalk our dreams with abandon, we too often sit and sulk, blaming and complaining, chasing after paltry goals that cheat the magnificence of our being." End quote. I have frequently pondered the age-old question. Why is it that the majority of individuals, including myself, struggle to transform the visions residing within our minds into reality? What is it that prevents most people from uncovering their true calling in life and fulfilling that innate potential to leave a lasting legacy? These are perplexing inquiries that continue to intrigue me. Quote, "Choosing our own aims and seeking to bring them to fruition creates a sense of vitality and motivation for life. The only things that derail our efforts are fear and oppression." End quote. I believe that deep down, every one of us yearns for personal freedom that transcends societal and self-imposed limitations. Fear can be a powerful force that holds us back, but we all possess an inherent desire to rise above it and reach new heights of existence. The key to achieving this is taking the initiative to match our inclination towards personal growth with courageous action. All the men and women who have risen to greatness have, quote, "struggled but learned to be free in the moment to express who they truly are and to create and contribute to the world without paralyzing fear. They didn't feel the need to conform." End quote. Now, as you contemplate your own pursuit of personal freedom, let's reflect on this question. Quote, "How many have given up their dreams in order to follow a more secure and profitable and socially acceptable path?" End quote. Let's face it, most of us give in to the pressures of parents, teachers, or well-intended friends and family when we make those all-important decisions that bring meaning to our lives. The ultimate misery is to end up living a life that wasn't even our own. It was based on the opinions of others. Quote, "To achieve and sustain personal freedom, we must dedicate ourselves to self-mastery. We must determine and discipline our own motivations to stay true to our own sense of self, to our own path." End quote. Insight number 3, cynics and trolls. Quote, "We must understand that the lowest rung of humanity is populated by the couch critics. We must remember that most cynics and judgmental tyrants who seek to oppress us are small, frustrated people who take heat off their own apathy and failure by labeling us as narcissistic strivers or undeserving fakes. They try to belittle us to stop feeling so little themselves." End quote. I know that if you're serious about pursuing your dreams, you're likely going to encounter naysayers and trolls along the way. With the rise of social media, these negative voices can be even more prevalent and vocal, using their online anonymity to spew discouraging comments and undermine your confidence. However, it is crucial not to let the cynics and trolls derail you from your path towards a fulfilling future. Instead, stay focused on your goals and don't allow their negativity to cause you to doubt yourself. Brendon Burchard recommends the following mantra to ensure we choose freedom over fear. Quote, "I won't let others stoke fear into my heart. I choose to remain true to who I am and where my dreams direct me, no matter the hardship I might incur. I remember it always. Fear wins or freedom wins, and I choose freedom." End quote. Insight number 4, mother of motivation. Quote, "To develop a motive for action, our mind, with or without conscious guidance, filters through various thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and chooses from them a set of reasons to do or not to do something. If we are clear and committed, we will feel high levels of motivation. If we are unclear and uncommitted, motivation will be low. From this process comes a simple axiom: the mother of motivation is choice." End quote. I have found that choice appears to be a word that is consistent among so many of the great thinkers. Your life to this point is a accumulation of your choices. Your motivation to achieve self-mastery and reach for your dreams comes down to choices as well. If you want more motivation in your life, then you must learn to make clearer choices and be deeply committed to them. Insight number 5, advance with abandon. Quote, free and courageous people do not avoid their current circumstances, but they see them as temporary. To those who are self-reliant, reality is not fixed, but rather fickle and moldable. They see their entire existence as something that can be shaped, toyed with, vastly improved. Their only commitment is to creating the future they have imagined for themselves and their loved ones. End quote. I can't help but think about the incredible impact that prioritizing our dreams over our current circumstances could have on our lives. By giving our dreams more weight than our current circumstances, we're allowing ourselves to imagine a future that's vastly different from our present reality. And while it may require a lot of hard work, the rewards of pursuing our passions and creating a life that aligns with our deepest desires are immeasurable. Quote, victims and quitters take a different view. They often think their reality is fixed, determined by others outside themselves, immutable. For them, reality is all there is. They tell themselves, tomorrow is fated to be exactly like today, and the days that come before it. There is nothing I can do. This is my reality. End quote. The victim plods through life, believing it's not in their control to change it. They live life hoping to survive it, and don't realize they have the power to shape it. Quote, a pathetic majority also never cross the line between gathering information and taking action. Theirs is a life of endless contemplation, of waiting for total knowledge and perfect conditions, neither of which will ever happen. Thus, they are forever destined to be observers, not masters. End quote. Once you come to realize that you can shape your reality, the next hurdle to cross is getting into action. To advance in your life, you must value action itself and learn to fall in love with making progress every single day. You measure yourself by your actions, not simply by your intentions. A life of regret is a life filled with intentions that never transitioned into action. Quote, none of us will rise tomorrow and say, I do not wish to advance my life. But our wishes are not what are measured at the end of tomorrow. Only our actions shall speak to who we are and what we really desire. Let us forever strive towards something we choose to be meaningful, with a conviction so pure and powerful that we advance with grand leaps. End quote. If you're spending your days just wishing for things to happen instead of taking action, it's time to reconsider. You have the power to change your circumstances through your thoughts and actions. Don't wait for things to happen. Just make them happen. The time is now to take control and make things happen in your life. Insight number 6, integrity. Quote, it's time to remind ourselves that today's thoughts and actions become our legacy. When we forget this or lie to ourselves thinking our actions do not matter, we have permission to act as momentary buffoons. We let ourselves break just this once from our values. We cheat just this once. We lie just this once. We put off the hard task just this once. We skip the workout just this week. And soon we find that each of these little breaks leads to another, and then to a lifetime of compromise and regret. End quote. I just love that passage, and I love the word integrity. It always reminds me of another great book, The Slight Edge, where author Jeff Olson defines integrity as, what do you do when no one is watching? It is in our moment-to-moment decisions that we find out who we really are, and whether we are living our lives with integrity. Quote, your life is an Apollo rocket headed for parts yet unknown, and there is no one at the helm but you. End quote. We must start doing the things we committed to doing even when no one else is watching. Insight number 7, inspire greatness. Quote, each of us serves as a living example to others. Our character and conduct can cast either the bright glow of greatness and service to the far corners of our influence, or a shadow of smallness and selfishness to the unfortunate few nearest us. Our striving for a better life and a better world can leave others inspired if it comes from a genuine place of service, or diminished if it comes from a place of greed. End quote. It seems that most people are not interested in holding themselves or others to a higher standard, because the former requires discipline and the latter may result in conflict. The end result is most people don't stand for anything. They simply continue to allow poor behaviors into their lives and the lives of those they influence. Why is it that the majority of people in today's society no longer expect themselves or others to act with virtue, compassion, honesty, or wisdom? Quote, "There is a confused complacency. Everyone knows there is more for us, but it's too much trouble to organize ourselves to chase it. It is easier to indulge in our comforts, our profits, our easygoing ways. Such habits have reduced our individual greatness and led to a worldwide failure in leadership." End quote. All you really have to do is look around. The evidence of this lack of leadership is so evident in a world full of dishonesty, hatred, selfishness, lack of ownership, and greed. The empowering truth is that you as an individual have the power to change by choosing to begin leading yourself and then expanding your leadership to others. Quote, "Honesty, responsibility, intelligence, excellence, courage, respect, vigilance, service, unity. These are the virtues of greatness that we must exemplify and expect. These are the virtues that forge remarkable people and may be wielded like a sword against many of the world's ills." End quote. Insight number 8. Time is finite. Quote, "I thought there would be more time." End quote. As we navigate through life, one of the biggest regrets is often failing to appreciate the value of the fleeting moments that make up our experiences. Once these moments pass, they're gone forever, leaving us with the painful realization that we can never get them back. Quote, "We say it when our children leave home, as if we had planned one day, someday in the future when we were less stressed, to appreciate and admire them before they took wing. I thought there would be more time to enjoy them and watch them grow." We say it when our job is yanked from us, as if acknowledging that we had more to give, as if it were unfair that we didn't get to give it, as if we were waiting one day to show up and perform and contribute for real. I thought there'd be more time to demonstrate excellence and make my mark. We say it when we die. Should we have lived an unfelt and regretful life? We would say this to ourselves, as if we were always planning to live someday soon, as if caught by surprise that there is at last no more time to live and love and matter, as if we hadn't realized the clock was ticking all along. I thought there'd be more time. End quote. Well, those are some powerful statements. It's true that once we miss a moment, we can never get it back. Whether it's failing to be present with the people we love or failing to lead effectively, those missed opportunities are gone forever. But the good news is that we can always learn from our mistakes and make changes moving forward. Recognizing the missteps of the past is the first step towards creating a better future. So let's commit to being fully present in the moments that matter and making the most of every opportunity that comes our way. The time is now to create the future we truly desire. That is my quick look at the Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. You've been listening to Philosopher Insights with your host, Herb Lamba. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To go deeper with me, you can register for free at www.philosopherinsights.com for instant access to a growing library of Philosopher Insights, which are 8 to 10 page PDFs, plus 20-minute MP3s that break down my favorite insights from the world's best personal development books. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Facebook at Optimal Herb. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.